Welcome, my brozilla, to a new video. My name is Marco, and today I show you the deck profile of a 4th place Icey. I see you.
Bro, what are you talking about? I'm Jim Cook. Oh, who the fuck is Icey?
Oh, sorry. I'm Jim. Do you show me your well-cooked deck?
Yeah, bro. So, starting off with this profile, we're running with the starter, Peter. He make the fun.
He is the good Peter.
V starter, draws a card, whatever, doesn't matter. Quick shield, whatever, doesn't matter. Peter makes the feng shui of the deck correct. Correct, so you don't, lose the game. So you sack triggers. And he's my favorite.
You just play better. You just play better.
Exactly. My favorite starter of the deck, of course, Peter. Going off with the main boss unit, we have 3 Gyros. 3 Gyros. 3 Gyros being your main history collection strider. GB2 is broken as hell. 4 CB in a turn is pretty good. I don't know. Reason why we run her. Protect markers, GB2. There you go. Next we have 1 Veros. Why are we? You run this primarily for the bad bounty turn, and that's about it. Other than that, she's kind of a useless ride. You like 99% of the time, you always want to ride this one. But if you get this one, like this happened round 1 against me, it's not bad. It's just not that good compared to this one.
So one question here is your thoughts on Necrobolt, because some people run Necrobolt instead of the Veros.
So I originally tested it. The reason why I didn't run it is because you have to make your good matchups better, and you have to dodge your bad matchups, essentially. And Veros being the way that you win good matchups harder is a lot better than Necrobolt having an okay matchup in Necrodora. So Veros 10 times better. Glad I ran her. Good attack extension, everything. So bad bounty turn, whatever. Anyway, off to the next card. To Skull Dragon. Beater. It says PG or die. That's it. There you go. It drops 4 cards. You have to drop 4 cards for him on Bartholomew. A very good card in this deck. And there you go. That's all he does. Next, we have essentially the engine of the deck, 2 Beatrice. Your main attack extender, an okay ride target. Not the preferable one, but if you have to go on a game with her, she's basically your backup ride. Why 2? There's not enough room for 3. That's why you run 2. But you always need Beatrice to be in your attack combos, because Soul Blast 1 Call 1 is very good, especially with the next card that's coming up. And there's an infinite loop with her with Veros, but we'll get to that later with the next card. Next card being 1 Nightstorm. Attack extender. Has an infinite loop on Veros with Beatrice, so if you have a Nightstorm, if you have a Beatrice, you can always go and you're on Veros. Has to be Veros. You cannot do this with any other. You swing Beatrice, she will retire. Swing Nightstorm, you CB1, call Beatrice back. Nightrose skill will proc, retiring Nightstorm so you can call him again. And then you just do this however many CB or soul you have. And that's it. I did this I could have done this once to my opponent, but he died. I had 5 CB, but it comes up. It's nice. If your opponent rips a defensive trigger, then you're fucked. So, yeah. But most of the time they don't. Next up, we have the best card in the deck, Forbital. Insane high roll. Gets you combo instantly, which is this and this. These 2, basically full combo. It's a very good card. Searches deck too, so if you need to So if you need to grab a piece from deck, say this is still in deck, I can always just grab this out with Forbidal. So, or if there's a second one in deck still, I can always just deck thin a little bit. So, very good card. Very important to run. If you don't run it, then it's fucked. Next up, we have Grade 2s. The first one being Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship is essentially the weaker version of this that draws you cards. 90% of the time, you're always going to be using this early game because you need to draw cards and you're Granblue. There you go. That's it. Next up, we have the most controversial, one of the controversial cards in the deck, French. The reason why we run it is essentially this is kind of a bait. So say you have Franch and you have a Nightstorm while you're on Veros, right? If you have this in drop, you can always call this over Nightstorm with a bone or something. So say if your opponent wants to taser this and this is still in your drop, you can always just call this out, and it serves the same function. So it's essentially running to the same card without really running to the same card. Essentially. Other than that, this can RNG you Column Bard because yes, we're running Column Bard. Very important card. But yeah, very good card. Unironically, you can also CB loop this quite easily because you go like Skull Dragon swing, call it this thing, boosted this Beatrice, call it something else or whatever. So CB loop. Fun times, right? I love CB looping. Next, the MVP of the deck, 1 NPix. This shuts down Chaos matchup. This shuts down a lot of matchups just from playing the game in general. This shut down an Overlord matchup because if you just call this behind your Nightstorm, Denial Griffin shuts off, and that's it. That's all it does. Basically denies certain matchups that you need to play against. Next up, 1 Jesse. This is just meant to, if you're like CB denied, you have to randomly grab CB, you can always just do this. Retire 2 is always nice too, because if you're on like low count of Bartholomew, or barely on count for Bartholomew, you can always just Jesse rear guards. Just call 2, Jesse them out, and then that's technically more on drop zone than you had to begin with. Technically. But good card. Won me a game. Won me a game, so hey, we did it. Next up, 1 Cannoneer. This is for Lily. Lily play. It's also good just to like snipe shit. You can snipe a taser from a DP player because yes. Taser being like the rest card, rest something else. So good card. And disruption is always good in a non-disruption clan. Next up, 4 Column Bard. Your bread and butter of the deck. You need this. You search out your one-ofs, and there you go. And we're running a lot of one-offs. We're playing Granblue. Next up, with the most controversial choice of the deck, 1 Greed Shade. Why the fuck are we on 1? Well, the theory behind it so the theory behind 1 Greed Shade, and it's a very interesting one, is because technically, this is supposed to be the Greed Shade slot. Technically. But the reason why we were on 1 and not 2 is because this is kind of like a second Greed Shade. Because you can always RNG this out. Because you can always RNG a Greed Shade out. So if you see one of the 2, you can always just pitch this to search another one. So this is why we're on 1. That's the theory behind it. This can be technically called a 5th Column Bard too, because you can always RNG Column Bard out. So yeah. So good cards, whatever. Next up for grade 1s, we have 1 Bell. Why the hell we're this is simply to say fuck you Narukami, and that's it. Alright, moving on. 1 Hanoi. This is for multi-attack. That's it. That's all it is for. And there you go. That's it. one Ripple Banshee. Soul Boss 1, draw 1, my beloved. That's the name of the deck. Soul Boss 1, draw 1, and then has pretty high numbers. 17k booster is pretty good, especially in a clan with low ass numbers, except for Skull Dragon. So yeah. This also gets you advantage really fast because you can always just call a ghost ship, call a night storm, call some random shit, and then you can always just draw cards. So drawing cards, good. Next up, we have 3 bone. 3 bone. Essentially, this is how you save deck, or well, no, this is how you not deck out. I lost the game because I lost a testing game because I didn't bone enough to have more deck, so that my opponent couldn't deck me out. So yeah, here we are. More bones, good card. And then sets up combo anyway. Tsutami. Booster economy. Searches great deck thins for grade 3s. Grade 3s are your main pieces, and you need them. So good card. Next up, we have 1 Sanctitude. Sank. Everybody knows why you run this. It's for OGT, shit like that. It destroys the DP matchup, even though you already destroy it. Even though you already destroy it, it destroys it harder. You see a DP, you run this into a DP player, and they're like 4 Winka, they cry. Even though they don't run 4 Winka, they only run like 3, some shit like that. Anyway, 3 Water Spout Jin. 3 CCPG. I like countercharge. This is another way to countercharge if Grenache lines up in damage. Just so that you don't have to fucking insta heal, or else you don't have CB for the game. But this is the worst way to get your countercharge in. But it's all good. It's a way though. It's a way though. The second worst being Jesse, and then the best one being him, Grenache. 1 Grenache. Countercharge. You can CC 4 in a turn by killing him and then hollowing him. Nightrose GB2, call him back, hollow him, do it again. So CC 4 in a turn. You can also set this up during your opponent's turn. If they're on like Neo Nectar or something, you can just do this randomly, and there's nothing they can do about it. So good card. My favorite card one of my favorite cards in the deck. And next for the triggers, we have 1 Mick. Why the hell we're on 1 Mick? This is how you not deck out on Bartholomew. Also, double Mick is very good. If you double Mick on like on Spike Brothers, their turn is basically over, or hit double defensive triggers. So it's good. Next up, we have 4 Heal Guard. You're a late game clan. You need heal guards to survive early game. You can and even if you're playing the most privileged clan in the game, so you can always grab heals back with Greed Shade, if it doesn't land up in damage, that is. But yes, that's it. That's all it is. Next up, we have 4 Rampage Shade. 4 Rampage. The reason why we're not on like a crit sentinel or something is because you really value the draw. You also value the soul. This deck is gets pretty soul heavy, so you need to find ways to get soul. This is one of the ways. There's another way too, and that's gonna be the next card. So good card. 5k draw 1, 15k shield, draw crit. You know, everyone runs them. They're the shit. They're the nut. Next up, we have 4 Banshee. Banshee crit. This is the second way you get soul. This is the way you get soul when you're not on Nightrose. If you're stuck on Beatrice, you have to use this to get soul. The reason being because this is name locked to Nightrose, while this one isn't. So if you have to ride Beatrice, well, have fun. Have fun. You need to find these ASAP. And it's also like a 15k. It's also a 10k crit. You know, it's V crit. You know, yada yada. Next up, we have 3 Chad. Stride crits are good. You honestly, since your grade 3s are your best pieces, they're always going to be in drop zone. So it's good to have. It's good to have these. Just a discard so you don't have to discard like a heal guard or something for a random turn. So yeah. And then last card in the main deck, 1 OT, Stoic KO OT. The reason why we were on Stoic KO OT is because you mill a lot less in this deck. You're going into Obadiah a lot more, so you're deck thin a lot, and the heal is good. The draw 2 is very nice. It's also OT, so million. Good. Next Synergy Zone. Starting things off, we have Harmonix. A Guardian Shield ticket. That's it. Next up, we have 2 Venowyrm. Superior Strider for Nightrose, obviously. Very needed, but you don't go this all the time. There's a lot of cases where you actually do not go this until like 3rd stride. The reason being is because in some situations you just need to draw cards and you just have to go while this is being good, while on hit, while this being like on a kind of like a free Nightstorm is good. You need to fall. There is better cards in different situations. So that's why this is only at 2 and not like a 3. Next up we have 2 Obadiah. Big Obadiah. Your main stride, I strode this about 90% of the time in basically all my games. You need this to not only 1 deck thin to draw cards, because this searches your pieces where you can draw cards. 3, let you goddamn drive check triggers, because I had constant. Throughout the entire tournament, I had around 10 to 15 triggers in deck at all times. Well, after striding. So good card. Deck thinning is deck winning, you know? Next up we have 3 Bad Bounty. Why are we on 3? The reason being is mostly Ghidorah and Chaos. Mostly Ghidorah actually. Chaos you can play the game. There's NPix success. God bless NPix. So you need this to go into Ghidorah, or because of the amount of drive checks he does. And the second Vanguard swing. It's very important, because if you don't have that second Vanguard swing, you're fucked. So good card. 3 of. Next up we have 1 Bartholomew. Why 1? The reason why we're on 1 Bart, it's because we don't have the room for it. If we had the room for it, we would have a second Bart. But it's like kind of like your oh shit button. It's kind of like your oh shit button. It's also the easier ways to finish if you need to finish something, especially like a Neo Nectar. So yeah. Next up we have 1 Galleon. This is specifically if you have nothing and you just said fuck it, I have nothing, I have no deck, no nothing, just call 5, fuck it, swing. This is what he's for. He's a great card, but I didn't stride him once during the tournament. And off to G guards. Next we have 1 Oriana. CB deny crit. That's all it does. Now this is one of the better cards. Honestly, I wish I actually ran this on more instead of another card, but it's a good card. CB deny crit is fun. Whee! Get out of here. Next up we have 2 Nora. 2 Nora. Why the hell are we on 2 Nora? Because Nora good. Accelerates GB count. Also can grab OT from drop zone, since you always mill this thing random way. So yeah, good card. If you like draw in your hand or some shit. And then the best G guard in the game, 3 Lily. Pop shit, has big decent shield, really good. This is the most used G guard, so that's why you run it at 3. And the third one does come up a lot, and that's about it. That's oh yeah. So the one matchup that this deck loses to is Ghidorah, unironically. So the way you have to play that matchup is you have to go balls to the wall. You just have to go, no matter what, right? Like, who cares, right? Because this card is your out. This is your only out to Ghidorah. The only thing. If you don't stride this, you lose. If they stride Ghidorah, you're fucked anyway. So you might as well just go in and deck out. So yeah, that is the main matchup I was scared of. But I dodged it for most of the day because all the Ghidorahs decided like scrubbed out in like X2 while I was XO. So it was like a 0% chance of me matching into them. Unless if I'm in a down pair. So, but I didn't go in with a down pair. That's about it though.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for showing the deck profile.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, Icey is also part of Team Lost World, the best team in the world, of course.
It's true because we're lost in the world.
Yeah, I'm here in Germany and he's in the US, so we are lost.
True.
But yeah, we will show maybe from time to time always deck profiles from the members, and yeah. Still, congrats to 4th place in Anaheim, bro. And
Thank you.
I hope you liked the video. I hope it's good enough because we had to do it kind of quick. But should be okay. And that's it from my side. The last word goes to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone, I guess, for watching this shitty deck profile, and I hope I will top more soon. Catch you next, guys, next BCS season. Have fun.